Hey, this is Sky with Smart Poker Study. I'm going to help you transform your game over the next 12 months with my patented one-year plan. So let's take a look at the year as a whole with each monthly focus. And as we go through the video, I'm going to break down each of these months one at a time. I'm going to give you strategies that you need to focus on during that month, as well as the number of play sessions, the number of study sessions, and I'll give you some additional resources to improve your skills. Month 1, January, we're focused on position and initiative. Month 2, we're going to plug some leaks, and namely, we're going to take a look at your January play, analyze that, find the areas that you need to work on, and we're going to work on them. In March, you're going to be focused on player types, and specifically in April, we're going to target the fish. Those are the easiest players to make some good profits from. In May, you're going to learn every HUD statistic in your HUD. And in June, we're going to focus on learning your pop-ups with the various statistics there. In July, we're going to visualize pre-flop ranges of your opponents, and this is key to making reads and exploiting your opponents. And then in August, my favorite month of the year, we're going to learn to hand read. In September, you're going to be stealing so many more pots than ever before. Working on these strategies is going to totally increase that win rate, increase your red line as well. In October, you're going to learn from the good players that you play against. In November, you're going to focus on those troublesome spots, turn those from areas of uncomfortability to areas of familiarity and money-making. And lastly, speaking of money-making, in December, you're going to increase your volume because through the year, the past 11 months, you have improved all of your strategies, improved your skills, improved your win rates, improved your results. Now it's time to earn plenty more money. So I said you have a monthly focus, but what does focus mean? Focus is an acronym, F-O-C-U-S. It stands for Follow One Course Until Success. So each month is dedicated to that one topic only. You're going to study and play with purpose around that topic. You're going to pick out focus-related training material. They could be podcasts, chapters from a book, articles, videos, doesn't matter. But whatever you study, make sure you're taking notes. And with those notes that you take, you're going to take action and practice the things that you learn. That is a key aspect to growth. Practice, baby. You're going to be using ranges, tick sheets, game tape, etc. Anything you can to keep you focused on the felt on that topic at hand. And of course, you're going to be doing tons of hand history reviews because that's a critical aspect to learning. Reviewing how you played in the past, finding your mistakes, finding the good plays that you made, and learning from them. And I highly recommend for this year, you play only 1 to 3 tables and play with the idea that you want to learn, not necessarily to earn. Earning will come later after you've built your skills, turned yourself into the player that you want to be, and when you get to the final 12th month of December this year. And to help you follow this one-year plan, you can download the 7-page one-year plan PDF by going to the show notes page for this episode, smartpokerstudy.com/pod471. The 7 pages will guide you throughout the year. It'll give you all the strategies that I discuss in this video, as well as all the different resources to help you learn. And that brings us to January. Now, January, it's kind of the exception to the rule. There are 2 things to focus on for the month of January. In the first 2 weeks, you're going to focus on position. This means you're going to strive to play in position as often as possible. We know that position is power. You get to see what your opponent does before you have to act. You get more time to think about your actions, and they have to contend with you being in position on all future streets if they choose to continue on this street right now. I want you to play 10 sessions, and during these sessions, you're going to use a tick sheet with in position and out of position as the 2 columns on the tick sheet. This basically means when you see the flop, if you're in position, you put a tick mark underneath in position. If you're out of position, put a tick mark under out of position. And then the goal with this tick sheet over all these 10 sessions is to see more flops in position over out of position. Now, during these 2 weeks, you're going to do 5 study sessions. I want you to whip out Poker Tracker 4, filter for out of position on the flop, and then review big losing hands. For the second 2 weeks, your focus is going to be on initiative. This means that you want to be the pre-flop raiser as often as is profitable. So you're not just raising willy-nilly with Jack 4 suited. You're coming in at the right time as the 2 better, the 3 better, the 4 better, the stealer, the re-stealer with solid hands. I want you to play 10 sessions, and you're going to use a tick sheet during this time. And the tick sheet is razor or collar. So when you see the flop, as the razor, put a tick mark there. As the collar, put a tick mark underneath collar. Of course, the goal is to be the razor more often than the collar. And then you're going to do 5 study sessions where you're going to filter for limps that you made and calls that you made and review those hands and determine whether or not raising would have been better than limping or calling. And to help you learn position and initiative even better, I have a special link down in the description below on how to play profitable bread and butter poker. You'll also find that link in the 7-page PDF. And that takes us to February. The focus is to plug your leaks. You can only improve what you measure. So I want you to start this month with a stats and win rates analysis. There's a link in the description down below for downloading a 41 stats and win rates tracker. Plus, watch that video to help you go through Poker Tracker 4 and get all your numbers. By doing this, you're going to find leaks and then you're going to find resources to study so that you can work to plug those leaks. Now I want you to play 20 sessions, and you're going to basically be focused on various leaky spots. Whatever you've determined is something that you need to work on. That's your focus for that session. And then I want you to do 10 study sessions and choose training material that addresses the leak. Whether it's a podcast, video, article, chapter from a book, up to you. And now for March, your focus is on player types. I want you to continue playing with the idea of being in position as much as possible, be the pre-flop raiser as much as possible as well. But as you're playing, you're going to tag every player by type. That means you're going to color code their player box or their HUD panel. And if the poker software allows it, use a symbol. Give a fish to the fish. Give a rock to the nits. When you get involved in a hand with a player, ask yourself, who is my opponent? What is his pre-flop range? How can I exploit his tendencies? In order to answer these 3 questions, you're going to have to think about as much information as possible on the opponent that you're up against. So I want you to play 20 sessions where you're going to tag and exploit every single player as much as possible. And then you're going to do 10 study sessions. Now this is interesting. I want you to pull up some hands from last year, big losing hands. I don't care how much you lost or what you held, just find those big losing hands. But here's the thing, before you review the hand to see the action of the hand, how it played out, tag everyone on the table. Take a look at their HUD stats, look at their player name. Maybe you know the kind of player they are. Tag them right now. And of course, review those 10 big losing hands and take note of your mistakes. And there's a link in the description down below where I take you through a table game planning session where I plan my exploits based on my opponent's player types. In April, you're going to target the fish. That means that you're going to find the fish on your table and isolate them with solid hands. You isolate them by raising their blinds, raising their limps, 3-betting their open raises, and 3-bet squeeze when they are the caller. Simple tick sheet, 1 column with the word isolated. Each time you isolate a fish, make a tick mark. You're going to play 20 sessions, and the goal is to beat yesterday's tick marks. Yesterday, you isolated 15 times. Today, you're striving for 16 or more. And you're going to do 5 study sessions where you're going to review river bet and 1 hands. And ask yourself, could I have earned more chips? Because sometimes, especially against fish, we miss out on value bets. We could have squeaked out 1 or 2 more big blinds, or even a full street of betting where you had checked and slow played before. And to help you target and exploit the fish to the max, I have a link down below for 3 fish exploiting podcast episodes. That takes us to May. You're going to learn HUD statistics, critical for online poker players. I want you to start with VPIP, PFR, 3-bet, and fold to c-bet if you don't already understand those and don't know how to use them to exploit your opponents. You're going to have to look up the definition and formula for each statistic, and those are found within Poker Tracker 4. And of course, you want to learn high and low numbers for all of the stats. And you can find those on your own as you're studying various pieces of content from the interwebs. I want you to play 20 sessions with 1 stat per session focus. So VPIP today, PFR tomorrow, and make a tick mark on a tick sheet each time you use that statistic to make a read and then to make an exploitative play. I also want you to study 10 times, and When you're studying, find hands related to the statistic. Maybe you're focused on 3-bet, so then you want to find hands where you faced a 3-bet. Review those hands, make reads on their stat percentage, and see if you made a proper play based on the read that you're now making during your studies. And in the description down below, there's a link to help you train for consistent HUD use in that YouTube video. Now in June, you're going to learn your pop-ups. Now pop-ups give more detailed information. For example, this is a shot of my Smart HUD. You can see tons of statistics on it, but these are all total statistics. You see that CB62, that means they C-bet the flop 62% of the time. That's the total percentage. If we click on that, a pop-up occurs, and now this tells us their C-bet stats as total, in position, out of position, and even in 3-bet pots. These pop-ups give you more detailed info, so they're super useful for exploiting. What you can do is you can use Flopzilla Pro this month to visualize the different ranges. This player on the screen raises first in 28% of the time. Use Flopzilla Pro to build that 28% range. And then he C-bets in position 75% of the time. What are those hands that he's C-betting? I want you to play 20 sessions where you choose one pop-up per session so you can focus on the C-bet pop-up for this session. And of course, multiple sessions are okay. There's so many stats in these pop-ups that you might need to focus on one pop-up for 2, 3, 4 sessions. And then I want you to study for 5 sessions. Find hands related to whatever statistic, review those hands, and use the pop-up to make more detailed reads on their stat percentage. And if you want to pick up this Smart HUD for yourself, link in the description down below. Now in July, we're going to visualize pre-flop ranges. We ask ourselves when your opponent enters the pot against you, what's he entering the pot with? How did he enter the pot? Did he call? Did he 3-bet? Did he raise and then call? Did he limp and then call? Limp and then raise? Based on how they enter the pot, you give them a different range. And you're going to be doing a ton of practice with Flopzilla Pro to help you visualize ranges. They look like this on the screen right here. This is a simple 25%, potentially like a raised first in range in the cutoff. You're going to be doing work with Flopzilla Pro, but I also want you to focus on visualizing your opponent's range over 20 play sessions this month. And then you're going to study 6 times with Flopzilla Pro to build various ranges. I want you to build different 2-bet ranges, different calling 2-bet ranges, different 3-bet, 2-bet, and then call 3-bet ranges. Plus, because you're online, you get tons of these opponents as well. You want to build limping ranges and limp call ranges, and then save all these ranges within Flopzilla Pro. And to help you learn Flopzilla Pro, I have a Flopzilla Pro course. You can get it through the link in the description below. Now we're into August. You're going to learn poker's #1 skill, hand reading. Hand reading is assigning a pre-flop range of hands to your opponent, which we practiced in July. Now you're going to narrow it through the streets based on tendencies and the actions that they make. A critical question that's going to help you with hand reading is, what are they doing this with? You can ask this in any point of a hand to help you think about all the information about your opponent. This question is going to help you make some really good reads and hopefully some good exploitative plays as well. So I want you to study 20 times first. We're flipping the script here. You're going to be studying more than you're going to be playing this month because learning hand reading is such a critical skill. So I want you to study 20 times this month. I have a link in the description down below for my playlist of 66 days of hand reading on YouTube. You can watch those, see how I hand read with Flopzilla Pro, and then I want you to do one of your hands per day. So you're going to study 20 days, at least 20 hands. If you could do 2 or more, good practice for you. In the description down below, I have my online poker hand reading workbook as well, which teaches you how to do hand reading step by step. Tons of exercises, even a quiz, maybe not a quiz, a test with answer key. And then I want you to play 10 times. As you're playing, every time you get involved in a hand with somebody, ask yourself, what are they doing this with? Put them on a range and put them on different hand strengths that you think that they're making their plays with post-flop. Now in September, very fun month, you're going to learn to steal pots. What I want you to do for the entire month, assume that you won't hit a value hand on the flop. The only way to win is to steal. So when you get to that flop, you have to ask yourself, can he find a fold? How can I get him to fold? I want you to play 20 sessions with that idea of stealing pots. So you're going to float bet, probe bet, donk bet, C bet, raise their bet, whatever it takes to get them to fold if you believe he can find a fold. Steal those pots, baby. And you're going to do 10 study sessions this month. I want you to filter for various opportunities to steal. You're going to filter for C-bet opportunities, float opportunities, and probe opportunities. I want you to review 10 hands each day where you did not make the bluff play and assess whether or not you should have bluffed. And if you should have bluffed, what size should you have bluffed it to? And in the description down below, there's a link there before a podcast, which is called Before Calling Preflop, Plan for Post-Flop Float Bets and Probe Bets. This is going to help you steal even more. That takes us to October. You're going to learn from good players this month. So, who are the winners that you play with? If you're on PokerStars or ACR, you know the names of some of the winning players. I want you to analyze their game with Poker Tracker 4. Ask yourself, what are they doing that you don't do? I want you to play 20 sessions and, during this time, record 4 game tape videos in order to study later. Game tape is just recording your screenplay with a microphone and you're speaking through the logic of your decisions as you're making your plays. Then I want you to do 8 study sessions. 4 of them is actually reviewing your game tape. As you're reviewing, look for mistakes that you made, take note of those. The other 4 study sessions, I want you to analyze a winner's move. So pull up Bob123 or Susan789 in Poker Tracker 4 and analyze their hands, especially the showdown hands where they won after making some bets and raises. And in the description below, you're going to find a video where I analyze some of my own game tape, so you can see how I do it. In November, you're going to focus on troublesome spots. So, what are those spots that you find are troublesome? Where are you uncomfortable? I want you to create a tag called Trouble. And when you play your 20 sessions this month, tag those specific hands for review with that trouble tag. So if you hate playing out of position in 3-bet pots, but you find yourself there and it's a troublesome spot, tag that hand for review later on. You're going to do 5 study sessions where you're going to pull up your tagged hands, analyze that hand, but then also filter for that same troublesome situation, and then review 10 hands in that troublesome situation. And to help you run different filters in Poker Tracker 4, in the description down below, there's a link for my Get More from Poker Tracker 4 course. It will tell you everything you need to know, actually not tell you, show you everything you need to know to filter through your database. All right, we're in December, month 12 of the year. Your focus is to increase volume. Here's the thing. You worked with purpose, studied and played with purpose throughout the entire year. Now that you are crushing your opponents, it's time to win some more. I want you to add a table or even add hours to your play. Add sessions. If you've been playing the 20 sessions per month that we've done so far, bump it up to 25. Bump it up to the full 31 days in December as well. So, I want you to play 31 sessions where you're going to focus on a gameplay over longer hours or with an additional table that you're actually on right now. I want you to study 5 times and review those troublesome spots. And there you have it, the full year laid out for you with a different monthly focus. Be sure to go to smartpokerstudy.com/pod471 to get that full 7-page 1-year PDF plan. And that leads us to, of course, taking action. Step 1, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Like the video if you like the video, and please leave a comment below. And of course, take action. You're going to start with January. Now, here's the thing. If you already feel that you've got position nailed down, you've got initiative nailed down, head to February and start plugging leaks. What? You have no leaks to plug? Then you're the best player in the world. You shouldn't even be watching this video. You should just be going straight to December, increasing that volume, making all the money. But most likely, because you watched this video and you got here, yeah, you need position or initiative focus, or potentially start with plugging leaks. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy this year of focused study and play, and I'll catch you in the next video.